Hi there, guys. It's Dan from Trading College here. Just sharing a screen here. I've literally just got the DAX up, and I wanted to talk to you guys and try and sort of give you some value here and some insight around some of the technical analysis we do at Trading College and how we use our system when it comes to kind of market cycles. So broadly, and you may have heard the term Elliott Waves. People talk about Elliott Waves, and we think of that as a sort of 8-wave cycle. And without getting too much into the complexities of Elliott Waves, the way we teach at Trading College, we just look at trying to keep it relatively simple. And I'm going to show you a really good example on the DAX here. But let me just give you a brief introduction into Elliott Waves and how we kind of measure them, how we view them on the screen, just to give us as traders an idea of, where we are in the cycle. And we start off really, and I'm just going to do it really, really basic to keep it easy for you guys, with a bit of an impulsive wave up. Okay. And we call this wave one. Now you can see I've got here a few labels. I'm just going to pop that over there. I'm just putting it at the top. This is wave one. I mean, I can put it alongside to help for you guys to see it. And then the next move we move into is the pullback. Okay. And then we call that wave two. Really, really straightforward and simple. And again, I'm going to show you this in a relevant live sort of market example, calling that wave two here. Okay. And then we're going to our third wave. Now this wave is often the longest. Okay. Not always, but it's never the shortest. That's a bit of a rule to the wave. And so we call this wave three. And then we go into wave four. This is often a more complex wave, not always, but it has a bit of a zigzag like that. Not always, but I see it more and more. Wave four here. And then we go into the final wave of the up move, the saturation move. And we call this wave five. You can see this now. Let's move that label over. Nice and simple. And then we have a corrective move. And this is, and I'll draw it all together, an A, a B, and a C wave. And we call this, like I say, this is, well known, well written about. You can look it up and find details. But we have an A, a B, and we have a C wave there. And loosely, it's an 8 count. So impulsive up, corrective back. Then we push up for a longer wave, maybe a bit of a zigzag sideways movement. And then we get into the 5th wave. And this is that saturation phase. We have an A, B, C. Now, how can you trade this as a trader? For me, I tend to sort of look at this sort of pattern as you can see it and see if I can see that on the charts. It's never that simple, but you can get a feeling for it just purely by visualizing that pattern of 8 waves, if you like, and trying to identify where you are. Now the one of the easiest ways is you can get a Fibonacci tool here, which, we use at Trading College and we teach our students to use them. We tend to run it from high to low here. And really where wave two, because this is where we're really interested. You think this is the rotation where we're trying to get into that longer move up. Where I'm looking for the wave two to stall is around these 61.8, 76.4 kind of area on just a standard sort of fib measurement there. And this is where we would see the bounce if we're going to continue up into a long trending move. And so it's here where I'm really interested, especially as a day trader. I'm identifying this as support around these levels to see if it will bounce. Yeah. We then, for wave three to, be a proper wave three really, or to continue in the trend, it has to, of course, make a new high. So, we'd be rotating to the U shape here and beyond. Now we find the wave three is often the most trending wave. And then we get into wave four. We can again use our fib tool here, just from high to low. And generally wave fours You know, they can never really go below the top of wave one. They tend to have to go back to 38, or on average, go back to about 38.2 or 50%. You know, I've loosely drawn this, but you can see here, before we continue into the up move and the sort of saturation phase. Now, when we look at up in the fifth wave, where it might complete, where we might want to lock in some profit, we can draw a fib here. We'll get into these fib extensions of 127, 161. That's where the market could saturate and roll over. And then we get into wave A and B. And A and B are similar to 1 and 2 here, but just in the other direction. Again, we draw the fib tool here. And we see that we stall around this 61.8 fib. And then we roll. And generally, we're looking for targets back down to the bottom of wave 4 here, you can see. So thinking about that loosely, you know, and these Elliott wave patterns, these wave cycles, if you like, eight wave cycles happen on a 5-minute chart, on a daily chart. And the way we trade them is we look for obvious ones, you know, to inform us about the cycle. So I'm going to take this to the actual market here. And you can see here in the DAX, we just had it. And the other thing we've got in our favor, and we look is our Storyteller indicator, obviously a proprietary indicator here with Trading College. But you can see loosely there is a bit of a pattern here. Look, if we start at the low, we've got an impulsive up, maybe a little corrective. So it's a little bit smaller than I've drawn, but then 3, nice sort of long trending wave, 4 sort of corrective, and then we get 5 into this sort of final wave. Now, the characteristic of wave 5s is they come with a loss of momentum, or we refer to it as divergence. And our Storyteller really shows this. So a lot of our traders in our chat rooms and my mentorship students, we've been talking about a sell-off, you know, long before any of the news about Credit Suisse, and long before any of this market turmoil, you know, about us hitting a bit of a high and rolling over. Now, for me, you know, we've sort of mapped out here probably, I suppose, 5, 6 of the 8 waves, in the understanding potential, and it's always about potentiality when you come to sort of mapping, you know, wave cycles. You know, potential is that we rally up here, but we fail to make a new high. And that's going to be really key. We fail to make a new high. We can come down to here and we complete that kind of 8 wave sequence that I've drawn up here. Can you see the similarity there? If I just sort of just squeeze it a little bit, you can see one to the other. Can you see that cycle? You know, I've drawn it out there and it's on here on a live chart on the DAX, 8 waves. And we, you know, what we tend to get at the top of this cycle is that PTS system giving us a signal, look, to sell there, which is fantastic because, it tells us to, you know, to start to get short. Or if you're a trend trader and you just think stocks are going to go up, you know, this is the DAX, the German DAX, then, you know, you sit out the market and you wait for your next buy signal. I certainly wouldn't necessarily want to buy the market unless we turn green here and break above, or, you know, down here into this sort of zone, which is the bottom of my, or, you know, C wave here. And that's where I'd be looking for buys. So, you know, the thing about these cycles, it's always, you know, when we measure the fibs, it's always kind of being in and around the levels to see if we're going to get a new buy signal, you know, to time the market. That's really what we do with cycles, is we're trying to time the market, whether it's a sell at the top here, using, you know, a loss of momentum on our Storyteller, a red sort of PTS on our PTS system, or whether it's when we, you know, we take a new buy because we're going from red to green, you know, green on our Storyteller, green on the, you know, in the candle, we get that new buy, up to that kind of 5th wave completion. So it's just a sort of brief video there, really just giving you an idea of the market cycles, some of the analysis we're doing to try and find these rotations. You think about it, And this was a rotation. This is a rotation. And here, potential is that we may, or we're certainly coming off the highs, and then we might get this rally here and we rotate again. And completing those 8 waves has the potential. Trading is always about the potential, always about managing risk, and looking for those key areas and understanding where you are in this cycle. Am I in a wave 3 or a wave 5 or a corrective 4, or is this a point to get out of the market because we're losing momentum? So if you have a broad understanding of that, it can inform your decisions when you're using your edge. I hope that's useful. Like I say, just a quick video on wave cycles, market cycles, using a bit of Fibonacci, using a bit of Elliott Waves, trying to keep it really simple, using our, obviously, Storyteller and the PTS system works beautifully.